This is the Leadership in Insurance podcast, brought to you by FinPro Search Partners.
Insurance companies are businesses and they need to look for the long term and be sustainable.
We went from 0 to 1 and now it's going from 1 to 100.
Insurance as a concept, as a kind of service, is brilliant. The execution is what we're looking at now.
I think the companies that are going to succeed are the ones that are going to understand and master the art of intent.
When we talk about innovation, we lean too heavily to think about technology and we don't think about creating a culture of innovation.
I think innovation is essentially continuous improvement of existing processes and platforms and product.
Right? It's got to be easy. It's got to be seamless.
Good morning and welcome to the Leadership in Insurance podcast. I'm your host, Alex Bonds, and I'm very lucky today to be joined by Rohit, CEO of InsurGrid. Rohit, my friend, how are you? Good to see you.
Doing well. Just got off the very bad stormy weather last night here in New York, where I'm based. So it's a bright new morning, and it's a little cooler for New York weather.
Yeah, well, I think we're due some of that today because it's been very, very hot in the UK in the sort of 90s or in the kind of up to mid 30s if you're in the UK. And it's a bit muggy today, and a bit of rain. So I'm expecting some fairly spectacular weather. But I'm a big fan of a thunderstorm. So unless I'm flying, so I'm quite keen for it. Well, look, you and I've got the opportunity to meet. It was in New York. It was one of the events. I'm trying to think which event it was. It was.
I think it was InsurTech New York.
It was InsurTech New York. Yeah, I was going to about to say ITI, but I don't think it was InsurTech New York. So a little while ago now. I've wanted to do this for a while. I think you've got a really interesting background, really interesting business as well. So, but before I dive in, it'd be great if you could introduce yourself and obviously InsurGrid.
Yeah, totally. Hi, everyone. I'm Rohit. I'm the CEO of InsurGrid. And interestingly enough, I am not the co-founder. So generally, when you hear these interviews, people are co-founders and CEOs, but I am just the CEO. I previously started a fintech company called Stilt that I started in 2016. We raised $375 million for that. We went through Y Combinator and did a whole bunch of cool stuff and eventually sold that company. And after I sold the previous company, very recently, I acquired InsurGrid. And now I'm running InsurGrid as its CEO.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, you've nailed on it there, which was going to be my kind of one, point of call. Great journey, previous company, banking for immigrant families in the US, isn't my understanding. Good exit. Firstly, did you ever think just going? I know you've done quite a few investments. Did you go into VC before coming into this opportunity, or did you entertain that more seriously?
I did. I had a VC job offers that I entertained for 6 months. It's a long process to join a firm, but I eventually decided that wasn't for me. VC is always tricky. It's a different lifestyle. I've always been an operator. And going to the other side to just invest in founders, even though I love talking to founders, like looking at new technology and being in the midst of whatever future these founders are building is always super exciting. But I decided to stay on the operating side, and then InsurGrid came along and just decided to work on this thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's always the thing that people. Because I mean, I know lots of VCs through the work that we do at FinPro, and I reckon I have a conversation a week where someone's going, "Yeah, I'm enjoying being a VC, but maybe I want to be an operator." So you kind of you had that analysis before getting into VC again, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I fantasize about being in VC quite often, mainly because be nice to have companies chasing me for investment rather than me chasing them for opportunity to partner. So
Alex, it's always the opposite. The companies you want to invest in, you are chasing them. The companies that want your investment are chasing you. And so it's always a chasing game for someone.
That's very true, actually, because it's not that we don't get inbound inquiries for partnerships, but some of them we don't want. So, and it's quite hard to politely refuse when you're a recruitment company.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, InsurGrid, you would have seen lots of opportunities come along. I mean, anyone that has a big exit, I'm sure you've got plenty of investment opportunities full stop. Why was InsurGrid the one that you thought this is the one that I want to, invest in, take control in, and lead?
Yeah, totally. So I'll start by sharing a few words about InsurGrid. We are a collection of tools that help insurance agents collect declaration pages from their clients instantly. We help them extract policy information, both personal lines and commercial lines. We have built a lot of new AI tools since we acquired the company. So the company is expanding the product suite to include like policy comparison tools, commercial policy data extraction, and using AI workflows to help agents save time on their day-to-day tasks. So InsurGrid is now like a robust suite of tools for insurance agents and agencies to improve operational efficiency and sell more policies. Like that's the goal of the company. And I knew nothing about insurance when I first talked to the InsurGrid founders. And as I talked to the founders, I had always, because we went through Y Combinator, we had a whole bunch of insurance technology companies in our batch. Plus, as you mentioned, I do make investments in some of the companies that I see through Y Combinator every now and then, and I see all these interesting stuff happening across the insurance landscape. Like Newfront was a couple of batches after us. I knew some of the people there. I was looking at investing in a company that's building an insurance complete verticalized insurance stack. So they bought an insurance company. So I was looking at all these opportunities. So I had peripheral knowledge of the industry, but as I saw InsurGrid, I was like, this company is solving a problem that I see no one else is solving, or there are very few players that are exactly targeting the problem this company is solving. And kudos to the founders for finding that unique opportunity and building a product to actually help insurance agents. What was the most exciting thing for me was there were insurance agents that were using the product since the company started. So if you have a product where your customers are using for many years, it tells you that you have built something useful for the industry. And that was the starting point for me to say InsurGrid has built something valuable and we should dig deeper here. And lo and behold, we found a lot of interesting stuff built by the company that we are now sort of adding to and making the platform more robust. And we think there is insane opportunity in the insurance technology world. I feel like insurance always lagged behind a little bit than fintech in terms of technology, but I think AI and some of the new things that have come up has really shifted the mindset for insurance agencies, for carriers, for everyone else involved, and it's a very exciting time to be in this industry.
I think it's particularly an exciting time to be an agent. Actually, I think the age of the agent is there, and I mean that from the insurance agent perspective, because the tools just weren't there, and businesses like yours are building tools that are like affordable. It's allowing you to do a lot more. And in the truest sense of the word, they're very empowering tools, because I think what's been great about the insurance agency environment is that it's a very entrepreneurial environment. It allows you to kind of build your own business at a scale and size that you wish. But I think this sort of new evolution in kind of technologies that we're seeing is allowing those businesses to dictate their own path to a certain extent. They can do more with less, and that gives you control of your time, and I think that's incredibly valuable. I want to understand where was the business when you got involved and took over? What was the kind of genesis of the product at that point? And then why have you gone the direction of you've done? I suppose really what I'm getting to, what were priorities number one when you took over in terms of kind of product development anyway?
Sure. When we acquired the business, the main product that existed, that still exists today and is the biggest product of the company, is to help insurance agents collect declaration pages instantly. So the idea is that when insurance agent is trying to sell a new policy, or they get a prospect asking for a new policy, they have to ask a whole bunch of pieces of information from their client so they can quote quickly, they can quote accurately, and they can quote correctly. So InsurGrid provides a bunch of tools to help insurance agents collect their declaration pages directly from the carrier so they don't have to spend 30 minutes on the phone with their clients. So a 30 to 45-minute call gets squished into like a 2-minute process where insurance agent sends a link to the client, and the client just enters their information, connects to the carrier, and we extract the information from the carrier's website. We analyze it. We also extract the data from the declaration pages and give it to the agent in a very easy to understand format. So that was the product that existed when we acquired. And I could see that because this is so much up funnel for an insurance agent, insurance agent uses a CRM to manage their leads, and then they have to collect information from these folks, and then they process this information and they quote and bind a policy, and then they reconcile with carriers and do all the back end office work. So this product is so upstream that every insurance agent needs it, both on the commercial side and on the personal side. Right now, we are mostly on the personal side, but as we have built tools for commercial side, we are also seeing commercial agencies looking for loss run data, because collecting loss run data is difficult. They want to, commercial policies are 100, 200 pages long. They want to extract all the unique values in the policy instead of sending it to a virtual assistant or a BPO in some other country. Using AI, they can now do it instantly and can react to customers' needs a lot faster. So I saw that because of upstream relationship with the insurance agents, we could provide them a lot of robust tools that helps them throughout the journey, from collecting data to coding to binding, and then even reconciling policies with the carrier. So that was the most exciting piece for me. I could see that the wedge that we picked was a very smart wedge. Now that can be expanded to a lot of other tools.
Yeah, it's solving that core problem, isn't it? It's that core collection point of data. It's the stuff that you need it's the bottleneck for the things that happen after that. And then everything else is called to compound on that kind of skill set. But so yes,
Right.
I mean it's the perfect wedge. And if anyone's got the time, you need to go to the InsurGrid website, contact Rohit. He showed me it in real time. It's one thing to talk about it, it's another thing to see it in real time. It's quite scary, even for a tech Neanderthal like mine. I was like, oh, this is great. And we were having this conversation, weren't we? We were saying that, I got my insurance for FinPro for a very well-known insurance brokerage. I'm not going to shame them on here. In fact, I probably have before, but I'm not going to do it today. I don't know why. I'm feeling kind. And I got sent a form, which was a PDF to fill out, which is massive, obviously. It had information that I'd already sent them. And just it's the frustration of the consumer. And I know we're talking about agents picking this data, so they need this data set. But it does kind of point to, it's crazy that we know this technology exists and yet it is still not deployed at scale. So, I'm talking about one of the biggest insurance brokers in the world. They have my company number, which has my office address. It has our turnover. They know what my VAT number is. They have all this information and they're asking it for it. And it drives people crazy. And I think that's something you and I touched on as well, I think, is that and I've talked about this on the podcast a lot. I think sometimes we forget about the context of, it's easy to work in the insurance industry and forget the context of which you're operating. And what I mean by that is that, the public now are used to next day delivery or same day delivery from a company like Amazon. We're used to these incredibly intuitive technology platforms. We're used to logging onto a new Shopify shop that we've never been on before, but because it's on Shopify, all of our data is there before we even kind of need to put it on. We carry that with us, that we carry that context into our business lives, but we're still kind of, so the sort of frustration is there, even if we sort of go, our industry is different. It's like, well, I don't care, because the context is we know this is possible. So do you see what I mean? I think sometimes we forget about the context of the broader environment.
I'm like a product of the Bay Area in that sense, right? So we went through YC, and a lot of my friends are founders that are building the latest and the greatest technology. And it's so interesting to see the juxtaposition of the progress we have made in some areas of our life, and while in others we have not made any progress at all. Like we have self-driving cars, we are sending rockets to like Mars, and like we are working on all these technologies, and you can like now just call a line, and AI will talk to you on the other side and like solve
Yeah.
all your problems. We're building robots that are going to work in your home to
Yeah.
fold your laundry and stuff like that. But the thing that we are not able to solve is like we are still asking consumers to fill a form so they can get insurance, so they can get protected. Like it's such a juxtaposition. It's like on one side you have like this futuristic vision of like a spacefaring civilization. On the other side, that person is like in their spacesuit is just filling out an insurance form so they can,
Yeah.
get a
Yeah.
policy for
Yeah.
car or home.
It's so funny. Also, this PDF they sent me, I couldn't actually edit it, so I either had to
So you
print
had to
it,
get print it out and
or
like, yeah,
I had to go onto my own Adobe software to
yeah,
make it right. And then I think I ended up in AXA XL's office the other day, which is
yeah.
unusual for me. And I ordered a coffee in the meeting room, and a robot brought it to me. And I was like, "How can we live in this environment?" Which is wild.
And
Um,
I think
uh,
consumers
yeah,
are consumers are actually looking for those experiences across the board. The insurance industry has not had that kind of technology available to them. Sometimes there's just, a step function change in technology that makes things possible. I think
yeah,
AI is that step function change in technology that has made a lot of things possible. And
yeah.
the way the market is structured, we're seeing like the Progressives and the Geicos of the world are trying to get to customers directly, offer quotes directly to the customer, trying to bypass the agent. But agents who also serve an important function in this whole ecosystem are not being provided with the set of tools to help them compete against all these behemoths. So we think of ourselves as arming the rebel alliance, or arming the smaller agents to so that they can also have the latest and greatest technology to serve their customers. And I think the personal experience or the personal touch points that agent provides to their clients, it's still irreplaceable with AI. People would still like human support. Like nobody wants to just chat with an AI bot online on the computer, an AI bot asking the same things over and over again. They want to get to a representative as quickly as possible, especially something that's as important as insurance, because the only time you call your insurance agent, or the most important time you call your agent, is when you want to file a claim and something bad has happened. You want to make sure that you are able to get the service that you need, and agent helps you guide through it. So I think like with this technology, agents and agencies will see a massive uplift in policy sales and customer experience overall.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we've talked about this a lot on the podcast, and but also internally. At the end of the day, when you work for a recruitment business, you're an agent of sorts. You're a conduit between the talent market and the people that are hiring. And lots of people have said you're going to be replaced, and I'm like, no one takes a significant job. It's like the most stressful thing without talking to a human. Yes, they've got AI recruiters that are kind of doing things on their own. Yes, they're very good. Try doing that to a tech person that will probably be able to tell that they're talking to an AI, and then they'll go, well, they don't respect me, they're not taking it seriously. But it
Yeah.
means we can do more with less. Do I think we're going to have a 150-person FinPro recruitment business? No. I think we'll have a 15-person FinPro recruitment business, but probably doing the same level of kind of interactions, because we're sticking to that high value stuff. And what InsurGrid's giving the agents those high value tools to do more. One question I was thinking about: do you allow them to Is it a white label product where they can utilize that, or is it always come up as InsurGrid?
Yeah, so when they use InsurGrid, they can uh, customize the landing pages. They can add their agency name. They can add their logo. They can, make it pretty. It seems like it is their page. The link stays InsurGrid. And we do that because we don't want our agents to have to deploy a lot of technology to secure the usernames and the passwords and the
Mm,
sensitive information that our users sharing with the agent, and we take the burden of like 256-bit encryption and all the other required standards there. And for the customer, they see that it's an insurance agency's landing page. They don't interact with necessarily with InsurGrid. They don't have to talk to us. And every agent customizes the page for themselves. Now, we do have some white label programs out in the market where larger firms have just completely white labeled our technology. They don't even need to create customizations because we have created such a deep integration with them at an API level that they can do whatever they want. Just the core components still stay InsurGrid. So the large partner even doesn't have to worry about security protocols, data and privacy regulations, so on and so forth. And we take over all of that burden so they can spend more time with their customers.
Mm. I mean, obviously, you and I are sort of, well, you very much more than me, but sort of tech evangelists, right? So we get very excited about this. We see the opportunity for agents. Is there still a challenge with like, legacy insurance agents? Is there an education piece that's needed to be done, or are the challenges so front and center that, almost they'd be blind not to see them?
The way I think about this, like everyone has a place in the ecosystem. And as the world has changed over the past 25 to 30 years, and it's going to continue to evolve over the next 25 years, we'll see different types of customers gravitate towards different types of agents. There are customers like, I don't care, just like, I'll fill out a form, give me whatever price it is. I don't even care what my discounts are, surcharges are, what I'm covered. Or like, give me the lowest rate possible, and I don't care about anything else. Which happens quite often. And the younger population obviously wants everything on their phone. They want to get everything instantly, and they just want to press a few buttons and have the policy ready. So for those folks, like the legacy insurance agents or legacy insurance agencies, there is less of a fit. But there are newer insurance agents who are meeting the customers where they are, and they're marrying the personalized service with the fast speed and technology solutions that the younger generation is seeking. So I do think there's space for both of them. And as the world evolves, I'm sure like the technology will evolve to meet the needs of all these different populations. I'll give you my example. Like when I bought my insurance, I bought a car and it's a Tesla. So like Tesla provides the insurance directly themselves. So I tried Geico and all these other insurance carriers, but because Tesla was so integrated into their systems that they were able to provide the best rate for the same coverage, right? So I didn't have to go to an agent. So in that case, like Tesla was the best option for me, but for someone else like Geico or Progressive or even an independent agent could be a better option, especially in the US, if you're in the Midwest or if you have like a slightly different background. You actually need an agent's help, and you cannot go to Progressive or Geico and just fill up information and get a code. So I do think like different parts of the market have different requirements.
Yeah, and different opportunities. Going back to your investment and sort of takeover leadership of the company. This is more of a kind of company building conversation, really. But how do you build trust? Because you're this outsider coming in. Presumably, a lot of the kind of leadership stick around, and that's. I mean, or did they? I don't know. I mean, it's a good question, but yeah. How do you kind of transition through, from a personal level, from a team perspective?
Yeah. My simple answer is like authenticity and honesty comes across if we are trying to be cute or trying to be clever or trying to do things that are not seen as honorable, authentic, and honest, then people respond differently. What we did in the acquisition, like the existing team is around to help us. So they are still transitioning the business to us. They are on calls. They help develop trust with their existing customers. And they introduce us. They also help us. So we lean on them in cases we don't know something, which is a lot. So we ask them questions. And as we talk to customers, we are very clear about and upfront about who we are and what we are trying to do. And which is like we don't know much about the insurance world, but we are making progress rapidly, adding all these new products like policy cancellation, so on and so forth. So as we promise things and as we deliver those products, the trust just gets built up over time. So it starts with the existing leadership, the existing management introducing us we behaving or us coming across authentic and honest. We don't try to say things or present in a way that is not us, and then we whatever we promise in terms of product delivery or feature delivery or whatever it may be, we actually deliver on those things, and customers then just like start to trust us. So it takes time. It's not an instant thing, and then you just got to be there out there every day talking to customers to build that trust.
Mm. Yeah, because I always think it's really challenging. I mean, obviously you've got good tech, and people are kind of not blindly going to move away from it. But there is always this, people don't like change. I was going through some. There was a study, and this is related to my world, about changing remuneration packages in businesses. Even if you change something, and the new thing is better, so better healthcare, or let's say the bonus structure is more aggressive, people feel psychologically like you've taken something away from them. And it's such an interesting kind of uh, insight into like human beings, and change is not that easy. So I was kind of interested by the transition. Um, Now you've got. I was going to go back to product actually. So talking of product, do do the agents buy a suite of products off the core product, or can they pick and choose kind of elements? Uh, and how was it operating, and is it gonna operate slightly differently as you go forward?
Yeah, so we haven't changed anything about the pricing of the product. It's a standard, simple $99 a month plan that
Yep.
agents can start with, and they can start pulling deck pages right away. We have now built a few integrations, and we have a few more changes that we are going to announce in the next few months. And we haven't changed the price. We haven't changed anything else. We're just adding more features and making the product more useful to our agents. As an example, now we have integrations with Agency Zoom, Hawksoft, Turborator. Now Search is launching soon, so on and so forth. And we have a few more in the works. So we are providing more value for the same price, and that's
Hmm.
what I think is super valuable to agents. We are saving them even more time in their operations without charging them anything extra. It's a tough industry, margins are getting compressed, so on and so forth. So we want to provide them technology that gives their time back and helps them improve their margins. And as we bring out more products, more features, we'll have newer plans, but we are not going to change what our core plan is at this time.
Yeah, brilliant. Um, Damn, that's pretty cost effective. Can't argue with that. I love that mentality as well. It's like giving more, and then yeah, stacking on more, and not changing the price. LinkedIn could learn something from you there.
My co-founder, who was the CTO, was previously at Amazon, and if you think about Amazon Prime or something like that, they always just
Yeah.
add features to Prime so that you find so much value in the product that you never cancel. And I think I have not canceled
Mm,
Prime since I joined the
no.
program. I don't know how many years ago, and that's what we take our inspiration from: is to build a product so valuable that people never cancel.
Yeah, I actually accidentally I had an old bank card set up for my Prime, and it ran out. And then I'd forgotten what it was like to get delivery in about 4 days. So I was like, what do you mean 4 days? Like, what am I going to do with that? I live in central London. I want it this
Yeah.
evening. Obviously frantically put a new card in, so it was all fine. Rohit, we're nearly at time. So, I mean, you touched on kind of future state, but what's kind of immediately happening with the business in the next kind of 6 months? Is it a new product? Are you growing the team? Are you going to come and solve some problems for me in the UK so I can have a better attitude experience? What's next?
Uh, Not going to the UK anytime soon, particularly. But aside from that, we are growing the team. We have hired more people. We are investing more money in the company. We have built a few more features. Like we have built policy cancellation, so we cancel policies on agents' behalf, so their client doesn't have to go to their existing broker to cancel the policy. We have built loss run requesting feature. We have a couple others I mentioned. We have commercial data policy extraction. We have built some AI tools to help save time for agents, and we have built all these new integrations with the leading agency management systems and CRMs and raters. And what we are going to see is like even faster pace of development over the next few months. So you'll hear a lot about from InsurGrid about all the new features that we're building and all the new AI tools we are building to help larger agencies, particularly enterprises on the commercial side, get access to these features. And as I saw shared, some of them, like we recently tested policy comparison tools, and now you can compare a new declaration page or an old declaration page with a new code, and you can see what is the difference between those two policies, so you can explain it better to your clients. Like that is an instant hit amongst our agents because so many policies are getting renewed, right? Like, so we are constantly talking to our customers, trying to figure out what are the biggest problems we can solve for them, so they can improve their business efficiency while selling more policies. And that's just going to continue at a much faster pace over the next 6 to 12 months.
And if I'm right, actually, just on that last policy comparison thing, I think that's something you showed me live, actually, and
Yes.
it highlights what's different and summarizes how you can explain it to your customer.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was genuinely brilliant, and I thought that's the thing that even as it's the thing with legalese documents, isn't it? It's like, have I seen a policy wording, policy documents before? Yes. Do I understand insurance? Yes. But do I side by side know what's the difference between the coverage I was getting the coverage now? No. And honestly, I haven't got time, and probably neither's my agent for this, a few $100s worth of commission. So it was super sensible. So look, I know I'm being a bit of an evangelist, and it's not often I just like pump up someone's business when they're on the podcast, but I was really blown away, and it was. I normally get told what technology can do, but Rohit sort of changed the mold and went, I'll get my phone out, let's do it live and see it there. And it was really impressive. So if any agents are listening, or any kind of agency integrators, or any kind of relevant partnerships, they should reach out to this man, because he will be well positioned to help you out. Rohit, thank you very much for being a guest on the podcast. I'm really glad we got to do this.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Alex. I appreciated you talking to you. And yeah, thanks for having me. And if anyone's listening who wants to check out InsurGrid, it's insurgrid.com. You can book a demo, and there is a button called Talk to the CEO. The email comes directly to me, so you can just send me an email and I'll respond back, and we can have a chat about how we can help you improve your insurance operations.
There we go. You heard it from him. Thank you very much, my friend. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Bye.